Welcome, Tech for All channel here, and today topic is the Elecam Explorer K. A big thanks to gearbest.com who provided this camera for a review, and I'm happy to be one of the first in the world to get my hands on this marvelous new piece of tech. And I'm very excited to review it. With one word, this camera is different. Apparently the build quality of it is different, the packaging is different, and its internals quite different to anything you know so far. That camera is based on a brand new high silicon chipset, which is meant to produce 4K and Full HD and also 720p apparently at much better rates than some of its predecessors, and I'm looking forward to test the image stabilization in that camera. Secondly, it supports the H.265 codec, which is also famous as the high efficiency video codec. If you're following the action cam world, you've certainly seen the GoPro Hero 6 announcement, and that was one of the big topics mentioned for the GoPro Hero 6 advantages. And we already have it on a camera which costs a fraction of the price of GoPro. The Explorer K comes with Panasonic optics, and I still don't really have an idea of how it performs, but let's make a switch. Keep in mind that is footage for my primary camera, which is mirrorless and has a pretty good lens, so when I do that, and it looks like I'm far away from you, while I'm actually not, and you can pay attention to the picture. Well, probably right now there are a bit more artifacts, a bit more noise, and that's directly related to the size of the sensor, the overall quality of the camera, and the fact, of course, that the mirrorless camera costs about 8 times more than this Explorer K. The only thing I'm gonna keep in the setup is the microphone. Right now you're hearing me through my main condenser microphone, and if you want to listen for just a bit to the internal microphone of this camera, here is a chance. Keep in mind I'm applying a little bit of compression, and this room is not the best in terms of acoustics, so if you want to listen more to the internal microphone of this camera, just wait until the end of this video. There's plenty of things to learn, and apparently that's going to be me and you discovering together what this camera is about and what it can do. Let's get started. Here is how I got the Explorer K. It doesn't come in a marketing design box. Instead, this one is packed in a stylish carrying case. One of the first on the market with such a packaging, and I can only admire that idea and the way it's been implemented by Elecam. The case is well designed, has relatively thick and hardened side, and is, according to Elecam, IP68 waterproof. I hope you'll understand my reluctance to test that, and let's say I'm going to just somewhat trust their statement. Chinese manufacturers usually include a good amount of mounts, clips and accessories, and we get a bunch of them too, which makes it easy to attach the camera to a drone, bike, helmet or almost any device you may think of. The focus of the video is of course the camera itself. I like a lot the design of most of the Elecams, and in fact was a big fan of the boxes of the older cameras and generations of the company. The build quality here is superb. This imitation of aluminum is so good that I had to use jerry-rig everything's channel methodology to confirm it is just plastic. The camera is advertised as one of the slimmest on the market. The lens is made out of 8 glass layers, produced by Panasonic and reaching 16 million pixels. Combined with the relatively new high silicon 3559 chipset, that makes it a true 4K camera, which easily surpasses, at least on paper, popular models like the Git Up Git 2, the SJ5000 and Firefly 7S, for example. I was really happy to see the display here is not with a touchscreen, and I find it more as an inconvenience for this type of equipment to have a touchscreen. 2 inches seem to be enough, and with good visibility even on bright days. There also is electronic image stabilization. I didn't find a way to stop it, but it doesn't seem to add terrible artifacts in the picture as it is on most of the Econ cameras. In fact, the color reproduction is great. The tones are smooth and balanced. You see a lot of details, and if it wasn't for the wide angle, you could easily think this footage might be coming from a much more expensive device. One thing I found weird: the startup sound. it just feels incomplete, and that can be fixed with a firmware update, so Elecam, please take care of it. The menu functions are also somewhat unique. The power button is also a menu button, and to avoid mispressing it, the power controls require a longer than 2-second press. You can use the button as a switch between shooting and photo mode, and you may go to the general or Wi-Fi settings. Video and photo options are hidden behind the button on the side. From the available resolutions, 120 frames per second on Full HD is missing, which I expect to see in a future update because the dual-core high-silicon chipset supports it. Among other missing options, I'd name car mode, different color themes, and control over sharpness and exposure. Quite unique is the ability to capture snaps while you're shooting a video, and there also is RAW photo support. And if I mention that the audio quality is close to superb and is stereo, I hope you will start to like this camera as much as I do. So that has been something like introduction to the brand new Elecam Explorer K, the brand new coming from the Chinese company. A lot of people were thinking that Elecam as a brand is slowly going to stop producing cameras. Apparently not. This is the first that they release based on the high silicon chipset, and combined with this Panasonic optics, I would say not bad. Not bad at all. As a last, pricing. Currently that goes below $90, but I don't really know what's going to happen in the price with the price in the coming few weeks. I believe this camera would be positioned to be more of a mid-range, probably competing with action cams like the TI V5S, or these cameras which are just below the umbrella chipset based. And I believe it would be worth the money that you spent. Do not forget that it comes with a super convenient case, which most of the action cameras don't have. The only current solution I know is the case I bought for my SJ4000 a few years ago. But currently none of the action cameras are coming in such a nice packaging, which is just ready for carrying and shooting. Right, I think we already know bits of what this Explorer K is capable of. As usual, more about scenes, firmware, features, and in-depth review is going to follow in the deep dive. That's been all from my side. I hope you enjoyed that. Hit like and subscribe. That's going to help me to grow the channel and help you to watch more good quality videos like this one. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you soon.